When will these things be? And what will be the sign of your coming and of the end of the age?
Israel National News reported that the Israelis President Isaac Herzog, who used to be over the Jewish Agency, he addressed the International Holocaust Remembrance Day event at the Yad Vashem, the Holocaust Memorial in Jerusalem. I've been there many, many times. He warned that the anti-Semitism is increasingly becoming normalized, and highlighted the role of the Iranian regime that they have played in promoting terrorism against Israel and the Jewish communities around the world. He said that it's alarmingly clear that the 77 years after the liberation of Auschwitz, that the shock is wearing off to people, and that we are seeing a surge in anti-Semitism, these assaults online, and the normalization of anti-Semitic, this terminology in mainstream media, and an introduction of social media platforms that refocused on Jew hatred to newer and younger audiences. And folks, let me tell you, this is setting the stage for another Jewish Holocaust that's coming. It's prophesied in the Bible. Just like the first one was prophesied, the second one is prophesied as well. President Herzog went on to say, we are seeing how the world's worst human rights violators are being elected into the UN's human rights bodies, but we see how radical regimes and even terrorist groups are distorting international law, while some members of the academic and diplomatic community play along. But yet anti-Semitism is rising among them, and it's horribly hypocritical. And he said that we see the Ayatollah regime in Iran calling for the annihilation of the state of Israel, initiating terrorism against Jewish communities around the world, and murdering civilians throughout the Middle East, while some people simply just look the other way. The Holocaust, he says, is not a disputed footnote in history. It is the most sickening assault humanity has ever committed. And he was talking about the rise in anti-Semitism. Of course, End Time Ministries is just about 30 miles from this Colleyville synagogue over here, where the guy went in here a while back and held those people hostages, and they finally got away and the man was killed. That's about 30 miles from our building right here, Colleyville, Texas. And so, yes, a rise in anti-Semitic activity. Also today, Israel's Prime Minister, Naftali Bennett, he said that the world must learn from the horrors of the Holocaust and do what's necessary to ensure that humanity does not succumb ever again to the evil that we have seen. He said, when we hear the Iranian regime's daily call to annihilate the state of Israel, both of them, the president and the prime minister, spoke of that. He said, as we speak, they continue to talk about murdering and destroying the state of Israel, the Jewish state, and when we see their rapid progression towards the nuclear weapons, indifference is silent acceptance of that. A country who talks about annihilating the Jewish state should not be a legitimate partner for anything, especially a nuclear agreement, which they're trying to get in Vienna. And I just read articles that said they may have some new developments on that, getting close to one. Why would you negotiate with the #1 sponsor of terrorism on the planet? Think about that. Our current administration is negotiating with them. Now, Donald Trump pulled us out of that. But President Obama and President Biden are both negotiating with them to try to get them to make a deal. They're never going to make a deal. And so Naftali Bennett says, when Jews continue to be targeted for being Jews, both the individual Jew and the collective